Welcome to African Tales with Sandy. Stay glued and do not go anywhere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell to stay up to speed on our latest stories. Amina stood at the edge of Umoni village, gazing back at her parents with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The morning sun bathed the village in a golden glow, casting long shadows that seemed to wave goodbye as she prepared to leave. Her mother, Fatima, held her hands tightly, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Amina, my child," Fatima whispered, "the city is a vast place, full of wonders and dangers. Promise me you'll be careful." "I promise, Mama," Amina replied, her voice steady. She turned to her father, Ali, who stood stoically beside her mother, his pride evident in his firm grip on her shoulder. "Make us proud, Amina. Remember where you come from," Ali said, his deep voice resonating with emotion. Amina nodded, swallowing her own fears as she hugged them both tightly. "I will make you proud," she promised, stepping back and boarding the bus that would take her to the city. As the bus pulled away, she waved one last time, watching her parents shrink into the distance, their figures etched into her heart. The journey to the city was long and tiring, but Amina's spirit remained undaunted. She gazed out the window, watching the familiar landscape of her village give way to bustling towns and eventually the sprawling metropolis that was her new home. The city was a stark contrast to the quiet, close-knit community she had left behind. It was loud, chaotic, and teeming with life. Stepping off the bus, Amina felt a rush of exhilaration mixed with anxiety. She clutched a suitcase filled with the few belongings she had brought from the village and navigated her way through the crowded streets to the small apartment she had managed to secure with the help of an old friend from school, Adama. Adama greeted her with a warm hug. "Welcome to the city, Amina. I'm so glad you made it safely." "Thank you, Adama. It's also overwhelming," Amina admitted, taking in the small but cozy apartment. "You will get used to it," Adama assured her. "Come, let's get you settled in." As Amina unpacked her things, she couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement for the future. She had left her village with dreams of finding a better life, and now, standing in a new home, she felt that anything was possible. The next morning, Amina awoke to the sounds of the city, the distant honking of cars, the chatter of people, and the hum of life bustling outside her window. She stretched, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Today was the first day of her new life. Adama had helped her secure a job at a local boutique, and Amina was eager to start. She dressed in her best outfit, a simple but elegant dress her mother had made, and set off to the boutique. The walk to the work was both exciting and intimidating. The city streets were a maze of people and buildings, each corner revealing something new and unfamiliar. When she arrived at the boutique, she was greeted by the owner, Mrs. Mensah, a middle-aged woman with a kind smile. "You must be Amina. Adama has told me a lot about you. Welcome to our little shop." "Thank you, Mrs. Mensah. I'm excited to be here," Amina replied, her nerves settling as she was shown around. The boutique was a charming place filled with colorful fabrics and stylish clothing. Amina quickly fell into the rhythm of the shop, her natural charm and keen eye for fashion making her a favorite among customers. She enjoyed the work and the opportunity to meet new people, each day bringing new experiences and challenges. One evening, after a particularly busy day at the boutique, Adama suggested they go out for dinner. "There's a nice restaurant nearby. It will be good for you to relax and enjoy the city a bit," she said. Amina agreed, and they set off together. The restaurant was lively, filled with the aroma of delicious food and the sound of laughter. As they waited for their meal, Amina couldn't help but feel a sense of belonging. The city, with all its chaos and noise, was beginning to feel like home. As they were leaving the restaurant, Amina accidentally bumped into a man, spilling water all over his suit. "Oh no, I'm sorry," she exclaimed, reaching for napkins to help clean up the mess. The man looked up, surprised, giving way to a warm smile. "It's okay, really. No, I'm done. I'm Kofi, by the way." Amina smiled back, embarrassment fading. "I'm Amina. Nice to meet you, even if it's under such clumsy circumstances." Kofi laughed. Fate has a funny way of bringing people together. They chatted for a few more minutes before parting ways, but Amina couldn't shake the feeling that she had just met someone special. As she walked back to the apartment with Adama, she replayed the encounter in her mind, wondering if she would see Kofi again. Days turned into weeks and Amina settled into a new routine. She enjoyed her work at the boutique, the camaraderie with Adama, and the vibrant energy of the city. Yet she couldn't stop thinking about Kofi. Their brief encounter had left a lasting impression, and she found herself open to seeing him again. One evening, after a particular busy day at the boutique, Adama suggested they visit the same restaurant for dinner. "Who knows, maybe you'll bump into that handsome man again," she teased. Amina blushed but agreed. They returned to the restaurant, and as fate would have it, Kofi was there. This time, he noticed her first and waved her over. "Amina, what a pleasant surprise," he said, standing up to greet her. "Kofi, it's good to see you again," Amina replied, her heart fluttering. They ended up sharing a table and the conversation flowed easily. Amina learned that Kofi was an engineer, ambitious and driven, yet down to earth. He spoke about his family, his dreams, and his love for the city. Amina found herself captivated by his charm and sincerity. As the evening drew to a close, Kofi asked for a number. "I would love to see you again, Amina," he said, his eyes earnest. Amina smiled and handed him her phone. "I would love that too, Kofi." Over the next few weeks, Amina and Kofi began to spend more time together. They explored the city, shared meals, and talked for hours about everything. Amina felt a connection with Kofi that she had never experienced before. He was attentive, kind, and genuinely interested in her dreams and aspirations. One afternoon, Kofi visited Amina while they were both chatting. He received a phone call. "Excuse me, I need to take this," he said, stepping outside to answer. As Amina waited inside, she noticed her friend Nia approaching from the backyard. Nia had recently moved to the city and had been trying to reach Amina. When she couldn't reach Amina, she called Adama, who told her where Amina lived. Seeing Anna was a pleasant surprise. "Amina, I'm so glad to see you," Nia exclaimed, giving her a hug. "I was in the neighborhood and thought I would drop by." Amina smiled, happy to see her friend. "It's great to see you too, Nia. Come in and sit down." Nia hesitated, glancing towards the door where Kofi was speaking on the phone. "Who is that man?" Nia asked, looking worried. "He's my boyfriend. His name is Kofi," Amina said excitedly. Nia frowned, but quickly brushed off the concern. "I'm happy for you." Later, Amina introduced Kofi to Nia. Nia was uncomfortable with him, but tried not to show it. One evening, Kofi took Amina to a beautiful rooftop restaurant with a stunning view of the city skyline. As they dined under the stars, Kofi seemed a bit more nervous than usual. "Amina," he began, reaching across the table to hold her hand. "I know we have only known each other for a few months, but it feels like I've known you forever." You make me happier than I ever thought possible. Amina blushed, her heart fluttering. I feel the same way, Kofi. Kofi took a deep breath and stood up, pulling a small box from his pocket. Amina, will you marry me? Amina gasped, tears of joy welling up in her eyes. Yes, Kofi, yes, she exclaimed as he slipped the ring onto her finger. The other diners clapped and cheered, adding to the magic of the moment. With the engagement official, Amina was eager to introduce Kofi to her family. They traveled to her village where her parents welcomed them warmly. Fatima and Ali were impressed by Kofi's manners and the obvious love he had for their daughter. Amina has told us so much about you, Fatima said, smiling as she served them dinner. We are happy to welcome you into our family, Kofi. Kofi smiled back, his charm never wavering. Thank you, Mama. Amina means the world to me. I promise to take care of her. Amina's father Ali nodded approvingly. We trust you, Kofi. You have our blessings. The weekend in the village was filled with joy and celebration. Amina's relatives came from near and far to meet Kofi and celebrate the engagement. There was music, dancing, and a feast that lasted late into the night. Amina felt surrounded by love and support, and her happiness was complete in the city. Amina and Kofi began planning their wedding. The excitement of the upcoming nuptials filled their days, and Amina couldn't have been happier. However, Nia was dissatisfied with Amina's decision to marry Kofi. One afternoon, while she and Amina were preparing for Amina's upcoming wedding, she had a suspicion it was not who Amina thought it was. So she gathered the guts to warn her friend ahead of time. Amina, I need to tell you something. She spoke unwaveringly. She added, I don't mean to offend you, but I overheard something strange the last time I was here. She whispered gently. Kofi was talking about 20 million for a ritual. It was outlandish and did not sound proper. Amina scowled, but soon dismissed the concern. Nia, you must have misunderstood. Kofi is a good man. He would never hurt me. Nia still looked worried, but nodded. Just be careful, Amina. I trust your judgment, but sometimes things aren't always as they seem. Despite Nia's warning, Amina continued to see Kofi. The relationship blossomed. Amina and Kofi began making plans for their future. They visited venues, picked out colors, and started on the guest list. Amina was over the moon with excitement, and her friends and family shared in her joy. One day, Kofi suggested that Amina come with him to meet his family in another state. It's important for you to meet them before we get married, he said. They want to know the wonderful woman I'm marrying. Amina agreed, eager to meet Kofi's family and learn more about his background. They made plans for the trip, and Kofi assured her that everything was arranged. The day before their departure, Nia came to visit Amina. Are you sure about this trip, Amina? I still have a bad feeling about Kofi. Amina sighed. Nia, I appreciate your concern, but I love Kofi. I trust him. Please try to understand. Nia hugged her friend tightly. Just promise me you'll be careful. I promise, Amina said, squeezing Nia's hand. I'll be fine. Thank you for traveling with me through the dark secret on this thrilling and exciting journey. I hope you're able to feel Amina and Kofi's love in part 1 of my tale. But this isn't where the adventure ends. Part 2 has so much more to discover. What might Kofi's sinster secret be? Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click notification bell so you won't miss the continuation of this captivating tale. Leave a comment below on what you think will happen next and share the story with your friends and family. Stay tuned and I'll see you in the upcoming chapter of African Tales with Sandy. Till then, never lose your spirit of exploration. Thank you and bye for now.